Hello and welcome to the stream. Hi guys, nice Sunday today. Ladies, gentlemen, NNBs, welcome to the stream that answers the question why will Neil get arrested. Today we are talking about again the same shit over again, which we left out. I thought we left this back in 2025. Apparently not. There has been updates on the Indian government trying to get rid of your privacy altogether. And yeah, it's happening again. It's happening all over again. We are going to go through every single instance today. Since 2015, the government has tried to get rid of your rights. It's shit, I know. That's why we need to talk about this. Hey Swaraj, how are you doing? Long time no see. We are talking about a lot of shit today. A lot of shit today. I'm going to increase this. Thank you very much. How are you guys doing? India on paper is a republic. In my personal opinion, it is electoral autocracy at this point. We will, and that is something that we need to spread awareness about. Let me just drop messages across. Hey Bliss, how you doing? Let me just, I don't know what they call it, blast off. I don't know. I am not good with nomenclature anymore. I can barely speak. I have the blood of my enemies. Luke. It's actually Malina. It's bubbly. It's like bubbly Malina. आज मोदी जी मंदिर गए और तुम दिक्कत हो रही है. Yeah, I mean, obviously. अभी मोदी जी मंदिर जाएंगे तो दिक्कत होने वाली है ना. He goes for show. He doesn't go for anything else. Like इलेक्शन आ रहे इसलिए मंदिर गए वो सोमनाथ. नहीं तो पहले राम मंदिर था, but राम मंदिर got cancelled since no one goes there anymore. After Ram Mandir got built, and I'm not even joking, no one goes there anymore. Uski wajah se it's like we are not talking about Ram anymore. It's Somnath now. It's Jagannath now. It's never Ram. We are live. I have to put the message. Please like the stream, share the stream as much as you can. We are also live on Twitch for people who don't know. How do you say red circle? Red live circle. Yeah. There you go. Swaraj, share the stream. What are the fucking, where are the fucking controls? Yeah, this is my private Twitch. Perfect. Where is this? I sound stupid when I say shit like this, but fine. We have actually, for people who haven't been here for long, we have a newer setup where everything looks big and huge, which is, I don't really like that, to be honest with you. But fine, I don't care anymore. This side is, sorry, this side is become way too big. I'm gonna just reduce it quickly. Yeah, better. Get me in the center too. Thank you. I'm very narcissistic that way. Thank you. I need to be in the center of the square that I have put myself in. अरे वो क्या है कि वो संगियों की बड़ी जलती है. And I like being happy. Like, I like being very happy. And I'm normally a very happy person. So that is what I want to broadcast. I can put on like hot picks too. Like, it's not a problem. I don't want to. But I guess like hot picks work. I think I should put in a lot more hot picks. Like where I look like legitimately sexy. Eventually. I'm trying to lose a few pounds first. After I lose a few pounds, थोड़ा इधर उधर का चल जाएगा, I'll put all the hot pics, like half nudes. उतना vanity है मेरे में. I have a lot of vanity in me. Like, never get me wrong on that point. Okay. We should probably begin. We'll wait like, what, 5 minutes more just to gather people. Shit, I forgot to put in like the story. न्यूज़ नहीं, रुक, होल्ड ऑन. Guys, join the Discord. भाई ये अब वैक्सीन के तरह ही हो गए, बिना ऐप की फैसिलिटी नहीं देगी सरकार. व्हाट? क्या फोन ऐप वैक्सीन की तरह ही होगा? व्हाट फोन ऐप? लाइक यू टॉकिंग अबाउट संचार साथी? I need to open Instagram. Jesus, I have to fucking make something for Instagram. So we have an Instagram, by the way, for people who don't know. We recently started an Instagram because I was bullied into it by people, you know. So we have started an Instagram. Do subscribe to this. We have 10 followers. Like, I swear. Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't compare vaccines to Sanchar Sathi. Vaccines are required. Sanchar Sathi is to spy on you. It's not like कि वैक्सीन में मतलब कुछ है अंदर से कि इंजेक्शन मार दिया वगैरह. लाइक वो बोल रहे थे ना, वैक्सीन में चिप होगा, then chip will go inside you. That was never the case. That is Sanchar Sati. That chip is for your phone. Zala, the first 10 followers are like fucking heavyweights. I don't know. Like on Instagram. Like heavyweights of hold on, post, select from computer. No, I don't want to crop. We have like heavyweights of the Instagram, like first 10 follower mein, so definitely follow. If they like the content, you should too. I followed you on IG. What are you gonna post there? I have no fucking idea. भाई आपको जब तक अंधभक्त का धमकी नहीं आती तब तक आप गलत दिशा में हो. भाई साहब, अंधभक्त की धमकी ऐसे 4 बार आती है दिन में से, मैं आप तभी भी गलत दिशा में ही हूं. Like you don't have to like tell me otherwise. Like I have no idea what I'm gonna post on IG, to be honest. Like how do you post like story from your like what's the fucking word of it, from like Windows and shit, like create, post, live, add. That is all I have. Reel, no. I want to create story. मेरे को कहानी बोलनी है. Boost story, no, don't boost story. More, switch appearance, no. Switch create, no. I think I'm gonna have to do this from the fucking phone. See, I have no idea what I'm. Rishi Bagre, Mr. Sinha, Jale जैसे लोगों देख के मेरे गुस्सा आता है. Yeah, they're fucking stupid. These guys are absolutely fucking annoying. These guys do not know what to say, what to do. They get like Hiren Joshi ka message. They get like Hiren Joshi ka message from ऊपर से कि what they want to talk about, and that's what they talk about. It's either that or they like just talk about whatever sells. There's no instance of like मेरे को Indians के लिए कुछ अच्छा करना है. I want to do something nice for people. I want to make their lives better. This is nothing. This is nothing for them. They don't care. उनका पैसा आ गया ना एक बार, खाली उनको और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it from my phone. Can I actually no. If I start phoning right now, यहाँ पे जान जाएगी. Anyway, what was I supposed to do then? Yeah, I need to post the story on Instagram. You know, I feel bad. Like Instagram पे story, I have to start Instagram करके. It feels like dirty or something. Like मैं कुछ गलत कर रहा हूँ. Like I'm getting sold out. I'm selling out myself or something. I don't know why. Like it is just a thing that is I feel right now. So it's like, I don't know. Oh, file sent. Nice. Perfect. I have mobile dashboard here. Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second, guys. ये story post करने दो. Instagram पे I'm thinking that it is just going to be the same thing, like this setup as well. It's just like थोड़ा reel के हिसाब से change वेंज करके ऊपर नीचे करके we can post it directly. And I say we because ये अपनी ही community है. Like I don't aspire to be like a one person army here or something. देश में कोर्ट नहीं है क्या? सरकार अब लोगों के निजी जिंदगी में नोस पोक कर रही है. ओके, होने ही दो. लाइक अभी केस हो गई भाई पे, अभी केस होने वाला है. डोंट वरी, I'll do this. You know, for a lot of times, like लास्ट स्ट्रीम भी देख लियो, लास्ट स्ट्रीम में भी है. द करंट सिचुएशन इन इंडिया इज, कोर्ट के जो लोग हैं दे केम अप फ्रॉम द बीजेपी. वी वेंट थ्रू दिस ड्यूरिंग द उमर खालिद थिंग. पर द थिंग इज, फॉर सम ऑफ देम, आई एम नॉट गोना से हु, the hand of the BJP is so up their asses that their mouth moves like a puppet. That is the situation in India. Like सेंगर को बेल मिला, क्यों बेल मिला? राम रहीम को बेल मिला, क्यों बेल मिला? Ask yourself. These guys do not care. They do not care for the law. They do not care whatever. They are like, हमको तो बस अभी चलाना है, हमको हमारा गवर्नरशिप चाहिए. वंस वी गेट आउट ऑफ, वंस वी रिटायर, तो वी आर गोना डू व्हाटएवर द फक वी वांट. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. Link in bio. Linkin Park. I miss Linkin Park. I'm glad they're back. I don't know. By the way, Meghnad also have an Insta, but he didn't use much, like posting some articles and stuff sometimes. Yeah, see, Instagram is like completely opposite to the thesis of doing this. So it ends up being like, oh, you have I don't know how to deal with Instagram. I'm like, to be honest with you, I have no idea. Reel banane, kaise banane, kya banane, fucking no clue. Apparently the Indian public is on Instagram though, which becomes an issue because it's like YouTube lives में इतना कोई आता नहीं जितना Instagram lives पे आता है, because everyone is on there for some reason. I don't know. Just share this fucking reel, man. Just do it on Twitter, do it on Instagram, do it wherever you want. Please do it. Like stream में लोग नहीं है इतने. Like we have very recurrent people. That is nice. That is true. That is amazing. It is very decent. But we still need to grow as a community, because like I know, Swaraj, you are not in the community right now, which you can join if you like. ये सारे decision वहाँ पे direct वहाँ से ही आते हैं. Like everything is posted, everything is discussed. Like all of these issues that you're asking for would not be there, because like we discuss everything, every single thing over there. साला इंस्टाग्राम खोलने पे मैंने पोल लिया, like should we open an Instagram, should we do like advertisements वगैरह, because this channel is yours, this channel is not just mine. मेरा नाम सिर्फ है because I have privilege that I can be here, and I'll not be as attacked by the government as, like for example, Bliss or even you, Swaraj. That's why my face is out here. That is the only reason why I'm here. So like this channel and everything is run as like a corporate rather than just like a one person thing. So that's why I'm saying join the goddamn Discord. You will have a say in this if you want. मैं बीजेपी वालों को गवार समझता था, पर ये बहुत exactly. See, sorry, I read that very late. दैट इज द आइडिया, बट पे आउट अभी आया नहीं है. हाँ, वी आर नॉट लाइक मॉनेटरी, बट द आइडिया हियर इज वेन एवर वी गेट पेड, whatever is extra that is not related to the YouTube ka like editors वगैरह वगैरह, that goes out towards like what's the word for it, donation towards like what is a good word for it, like an organization, sorry, like an organization that will actually help people, and that is going through Discord. Like you guys will have to choose like kahan se. Yeah, Revolution. वहाँ से, सो दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का जो मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट वगैरह वो सब वहाँ से डिसाइड होगा. दी आई थिंक राइट नाउ द ओनली पर्सन हुज गोना गेट एटलीस्ट 10 to whatever% इज ब्लीस, बिकॉज शी हैज डन अ लॉट. बट सीरियसली दैट इज द आइडिया. जितना पे आउट आएगा यू विल हैव एवरीथिंग ओवर देयर. मजाक कर रहा हूँ, आपके लिए यही विश है, आप जस्ट ध्रुव राठी जैसे सक्सेस. आई थैंक यू वेरी मच, आई वुड लाइक दैट टू, दैट मच सक्सेस, बट आई एम बीइंग वेरी सीरियस. This is not a corporate for just for me, this is a corporate for every one of you. So the idea is we make per month donations, or whenever we get monetized, the donations are going, like whatever money we generate from this is going to go to a donation camp, or like a organization that helps people, like Monkey Paws for example, they help children. So because India mein donation is like a big problem, like money is a big problem. People think, oh mere like phata hua kacha I'm gonna donate out, which is like really whatever, I'm gonna donate out, like मैंने खाना दे दिया, मैंने चॉकलेट दे दी, मेरा डोनेशन हो गया. But these organizations don't need like physical like food items or stuff or वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. They need money. Like for example, Monkey Paws works in Jharkhand and Chandigarh. Within this area, hold on, let me just finish this thought. Jesus. So, like Monkey Paws requires money, because to expand it from like they do a few villages, they teach children in a few villages, but because paisa kam hai, they can't expand. So if we get into this, we can start putting in donations through the channel itself. Also, Arun Anav, the thing is, I want to react to his Delhi pollution thing, so that's why I'm trying to reach him. Earlier what happened was, he did ask me to reach out to him after a few, but I don't think he had checked messages or something. भाई गवर्नमेंट छोड़ो, ये अंधभक्त ही स्पाई बने हैं. अंधभक्त में आदत है कौन अपनी निजी लाइफ में क्या कर रहा है ये. या सी दे हैव एन इंटरेस्ट, बट दिस इज बिगर बिकॉज like this has national level like impact on the people's lives. What अंधभक्त do, like दूसरे के इसमें झांक के देखना, that is local level पे. This is national level पे, and it affects us internationally. Like look at how China is looked at when it comes to data privacy, or Russia is looked at when it comes to data privacy. Like I can argue right now that China has better data privacy than India. I found out something, इसके बारे में research करते करते I found out something, that they are trying to create a human DNA profile bank. Like I was like, what the actual fuck? Why was this not in the news? And if it was, why was I not aware of this? So in 2015, like 1 year after these guys got elected, they started pushing for like, oh, we are going to create like a data bank of everyone's fucking DNA for cross referencing. अभी तक हुआ नहीं है, but whatever. अब तो हम किसी को व्हाट्सएप करने से भी पहले एक खाक बार सोचना पड़ेगा देश स्लेवरी की तरफ जा रहा है. Yes, that is true. Especially because with Sanchar Sati and shit, DPDP Act, everything, it's getting like fucking worse. Because क्या हो रहा है पता है क्या अभी, कि with all of the shit that they're doing, what is ended up happening is like whatever messages you send, whatever things you do, all of it is monitored. Like whether you send a message to your friend, whether you send like a WhatsApp which is supposed to be encrypted, whatever, all of this information will be directly available to the government. That is what they are trying to do, at the very least. That is the problem. That is what is happening. That is why this is important. Like talking about this is like so much important. Like just looking at like, oh, hold on, I need to push congratulations. Oh, okay, I didn't like double dip. Perfect. मोदी योगी मरीज है, असली इन्फेक्शन का सोर्स पुणे. RSS is the problem, yes. We covered this, yes. Like the actual issue is the RSS. These are like everything that is controlled through the RSS. Anyway, let's start. Like DNA profiling bill. We're starting with the DNA profiling bill today. You'll see that we have a new structure today. जरा structure बदला है हमने. Mostly because इतने सारे अभी link हो गए हैं that I can't like keep it as a roller or something.
I'm Tina Jha. In today's edition,
this is a news from what? This is like what? 7 years ago. 7 years का क्या था मतलब? What was 7 years ago? This was 2018. Fuck, 7 years was 2018. That is next level ka shit all, I think. We're like shit, like we are fucking old. Let me just do this.
hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. In today's edition, we focus on DNA profiling. DNA analysis is an extremely useful and accurate technology in asserting the identity of a person from his or her DNA sample. In recent years, DNA technology is being increasingly relied upon in investigations of crime, identification of unidentified bodies, and even in determining parentage. India till date does not have a DNA legislation, although attempts have been made in the past for passage of the DNA.
So this is not DNA legislation per se. This was not about DNA legislation. This was about creating a bank to put all of the people's DNA in. Like you won't have access to your own fucking DNA.
Bill, widespread concerns over privacy and data safeguard have scuttled the move. The government now intends to bring a bill for DNA profiling in the upcoming session of Parliament. The bill seeks to enable maintenance of records of unidentified and unclaimed dead bodies or missing people. In the next 30 minutes, let's understand in detail what is DNA profiling, its usage and benefits, and the concerns and challenges regarding its misuse. The government is set to table the human DNA profiling bill in the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament. The government informed the Supreme Court about this during a hearing on a PIL filed by an NGO on the use of DNA profiling for identifying unclaimed bodies. The Supreme Court observed that the centre should take steps to bring the law as soon as possible. In January 2015, over 100 unidentified bodies were...
So this was used as an excuse for it. Like, oh, we are going to find like people's identified for missing people. Like the same excuse they're using for Sanchar Sati. We are going to identify your phone from somewhere else. We are going to look for your phone using Sanchar Sati and shit like that. Same fucking excuse, different situation. यहाँ पे dead body है, वहाँ पे dead phone है.
Were found floating at the Periyar Ghat on the river Ganga in Unnao district of Uttar Pradesh. Almost 2 weeks later, 100 skeletons were discovered at a room in the police lines area in Unnao once again. Even as the police grappled with the shocking discovery of these skeletons in Unnao, more such skeletons were recovered from police lines area in Muradabad and Bahraich in Uttar Pradesh. When the probe failed to confirm the identity of the decomposed bodies, it was concluded that these were the bodies left unclaimed after post-mortem.
The fact is that in 2012, there was an NGO who had filed a PIL saying that there are a lot of dead bodies whose parentage or whose name, etc., is unknown. And there are also a number of cases of either kidnapping, abduction, or people being lost. And their information, those are also unsolved cases. So they drew a bridge saying that there should be a system where if there is a dead body, by scientific method, by DNA profiling, one should get to know who the person is. And you can link it with those cases where somebody is lost.
These cases are not just a matter of law and order, but are also connected to our emotions. In every religion, the right to carry out last rites belongs to family members of the deceased. However, in some cases, it's not possible to identify the bodies. Laxity of the police in finding the families of the dead also leads to these bodies lying unclaimed, like in the cases of Unnao, Bahraich and Muradabad.
So the first part of this news is trying to create permission for whatever they're going to say next. That is literally like how they create permission for everything. Like start mein permission create karo for whatever you want to do. And then they are like, oh, but this is good, this is bad. Like they'll talk about this later. But pehle permission create. Like your initial bias becomes this is a good thing. And then they like say like, oh, हमारा ये time problem है, वो problem है. But then you are like already in your mind is like, oh, but this is a good thing. That's how they're creating the permission for do all of this.
So how do we identify the unclaimed bodies? The DNA profiling bill, which the government is set to bring in the monsoon session of Parliament, can be a big help in this direction.
We receive a lot of unknown, unclaimed dead bodies, which are disposed of by the police, and there is no claimant. Simultaneously, we have a situation where a lot of kids are missing, a lot of people are missing, they have been separated from the family members, so we are unable to trace them. So DNA profiling, if is available with us in form of...
How are you going to trace someone that's missing? Like, comparing DNA kahan se aayega? That is the first question. A lot of people are missing because the police don't act. That becomes the problem. It's not about like, oh, the people have gone missing. Ki humne DNA dala, then like I said, like, you know, GTA mein ya fir Witcher mein, the tracker comes above your head pointing you towards ki kahan jana hai, kaise jana hai. That doesn't happen. You need a comparative DNA.
Data bank. Definitely it will help us in identifying those unknown, unclaimed dead bodies, and we can trace their family members in our country as well.
The Human DNA Profiling Bill provides for easy collection of DNA samples and setting up of DNA banks, punishment for misuse of DNA samples, identification of unclaimed bodies, help in investigating cases of rape and murder, help in finding missing people, identification of victims of natural disasters, and also identification of criminals. However, while the DNA profiling bill is believed to be a landmark legislation towards expediting civil and criminal disputes and identifying unclaimed bodies, questions are being raised over privacy issues related to the DNA profiling. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. DNA profiling is a revolutionary step developed in the early 1980s to identify an individual. It's also seen as a breakthrough technology in cracking down on criminals and also in solving complex problems.
DNA profiling was not created for any of this. Okay, just making sure.
Let's understand the process of DNA profiling in this report.
Deoxyribonucleic acid, commonly known as DNA, is the hereditary complex molecule present in humans and almost all other organisms. Nearly every cell in a multicellular organism possesses the full set of DNA required for that organism. Most DNA molecules consist of two biopolymer strands coiled around each other to form a double helix. The two strands are called polynucleotides since they are composed of simpler monomer units called nucleotides. Each nucleotide is made up of 4 chemical bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. It also has a sugar called...
They're literally just trying to confuse everyone. Move on. Where is the meat of the matter, to be honest? Yeah.
State in India.
Is where you kill the people. It is the allegation made by... We don't attack...
Time for a short break on the program. We'll be right back.
And India has a crucial role to play. India is the biggest member, the largest member of the Commonwealth. Yeah. And we want Commonwealth more than just a network of people. We want more than, heads of state getting together.
How can you be the custodian of what is happening in Syria?
We have a responsibility to our fellow human beings, no matter where they're living. Britain is a very compassionate country. We don't attack countries with a view to kill their people.
Watch an exclusive interview of Lord Dollar.
Literally, these guys waste so much time.
The initiative to draft a bill regulating the use of DNA samples for crime-related reasons began in 2003. The Department of Biotechnology established a committee known as the DNA Profiling Advisory Committee to make recommendations for the drafting of the DNA Profiling Bill 2006. This eventually became the Human DNA Profiling Bill 2007. The 2007 draft bill was prepared by the Department of Biotechnology along with the Union Government for DNA fingerprinting and diagnostics. In 2007, the draft Human DNA Profiling Bill was made public. However, it was never introduced in Parliament. The draft bill was criticised by civil society members and non-government organisations for not addressing privacy concerns.
Even the government realizes that DNAs or the information can be misused. So an undertaking has been given that the DNA profile bank will use the information or the DNA only for the purpose it has been constituted, which basically means to find out whether a person has gone missing, who's the person, and the dead body, and create a link. So this is one. But the second part is that the government has also said that also the laws would take care of licensing and interacting with foreign investigating units, which basically means that since there is no amendment to CRPC and this is a new bill, there might be some parts of it that would enable speedier, faster and more scientific investigation in criminal cases. But what has to be seen, and you're aware that as far as the Aadhaar goes, the Honorable Supreme Court has still not decided whether it infringes on the privacy of the citizens of India or not.
In 2013, the Department of Biotechnology formulated an expert committee to deliberate on concerns raised about the bill and also to finalise the text. In 2015, the government planned to table the bill in Parliament during its monsoon session, but did not do so due to widespread criticism over privacy and data security safeguards. In 2016, the use and regulation of DNA-based technology in civil and criminal proceedings, identification of missing persons and human remains bill was listed for introduction, consideration and passing. The bill proposes to regulate the use of DNA analysis of human body substances profiles. It provides for the setting up of a statutory DNA profiling board to spell out procedures
Okay, I checked everything. We are officially back.
and standards to establish DNA laboratories. Besides, it also provides for the creation of DNA data banks at national and regional levels. These banks would be responsible for storing DNA profiles received from accredited laboratories. They will also be responsible for maintaining certain indices like Crime Scene Index, Suspects Index, Offenders Index, Missing Persons Index and Unknown Deceased Persons Index. DNA experts would be notified as government scientific experts. Activists and experts raised concerns over the 2016 version of the bill as well. They raised questions over how the bill plans to safeguard the privacy of those whose DNA profiles will be stored in the data bank, the safeguards the samples and data banks will have against contamination and theft, and the terms of use and availability of the profiles among law enforcement officials, scientists and foreign agencies. Last year, the Law Commission of India, in its 271st report, prepared the draft bill named the DNA-Based Technology Use and Regulation Bill 2017. The Commission examined various judicial pronouncements and constitutional provisions and recorded that DNA profiling was indeed used for disaster victim identification, investigation of crimes, identification of missing persons and human remains, and also for medical research purposes. However, it also flagged that privacy concerns and the ethics involved in this scientific collection of data were very high. The Commission said the procedure for DNA profiling, if given statutory
Let's get this straight. The government cannot manage normal data. It's not going to manage DNA data well as well.
recognition should be done legitimately as per constitutional provisions.
One also has to see independently whether such an act of the government to create a profile of the DNAs of the citizen of India infringes upon my right of privacy or not. So there are various factors that has to be seen yet. But as I said, the bill is not yet before us, and I hope the checks that have to be done, the security measures are done before.
To be honest with you, the bill kind of disappeared. I could not find anything beyond this.
The bill is passed before the bank, such a bank is created, because we have seen that there has been some misses, some data leaks, etc. when it comes to Aadhaar card, which actually puts such a great system at risk and criticism.
The bill, which is likely to be tabled in the upcoming session of Parliament, is reported to be based largely on the Law Commission's report. The bill contains a number of improvements from previous versions, such as inclusion of provisions for consent, defined instances for deletion of profiles, limitation on purpose of the use of data in the DNA data bank, defined instances for destruction of biological samples, and the ability for an individual to request a retest of bodily substances if they believe contamination has occurred. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The DNA bill was a problem. I don't know how the bill has come up, because the bill is stupid, for one, like it's really bad. Secondly, I don't really know if the bill itself passed, because there is no information beyond this. If this passed secretly, I wouldn't be surprised, and they have already started
Several
collecting
privacy
DNA
concerns
data.
have been raised regarding the DNA profiling bill. But supporters of DNA profiling deny these fears as unfounded, saying there is no threat to privacy.
There is always a threat to privacy. Like just the Aadhaar card has leaked so many times. Are you really sure there is no threat to privacy?
There are many arguments in favor of DNA profiling and the importance of DNA data banks. DNA technology can be used to identify criminals, find missing people, and help in providing breakthroughs in unsolved cases. But there are many concerns regarding the foolproof collection of genetic details and appropriate use of DNA data.
Most important thing as far as law is concerned is the confidentiality. That is number one, because at times whatever genetic profile is developed by way of DNA fingerprinting, it is a confidential thing. So it should be utilized only for the specific purposes. Number two, we have to have a sufficient infrastructure within our own country for establishing identity of the individual. All these are the issues, but yes, outcome is very good in case we are able to connect the family members with their missing relations.
See, this is how they create permissibility. Like, what was the reason for Sanchar Sati finding your phone? What was the reason for UAPA? We want to punish terrorists. What was the reasoning for, like, even ICE in America? We want to protect the liberty of people and avoid, like, violence against the people of America. Like, all of this is good on paper just to create permissibility. It is never good for, like, the actual people of the country, because any law that invades on the privacy, like, irrespective of how good the intentions are, is going to be misused eventually. And that is something we always have to keep in mind. Always.
Get their kids identified at even sometimes at later stage of life.
Experts believe that concerns about DNA profiling are unfounded. Over 60 countries have made legal provisions for the use of DNA technology to investigate criminal
Use
cases.
of DNA technology and DNA profiling are very different things. That is why they're lying to you.
These include Argentina, United States, China, Britain, and Canada.
In America specifically, they cannot store your DNA without your knowledge or your permission. The only time your DNA is stored if you are an accused, not just accused, but like you have been in jail, like you have been said like, hey, you are guilty of it by court. That is the only time they can actually store your DNA.
However, DNA profiling is allowed only in serious criminal cases in the Netherlands, Germany, France, and Austria. This provision also exists in India. By taking prior permission from the court, biological samples of suspects in criminal cases can be taken for DNA profiling.
Very, very clearly that it could be misused. Now the question is, how can it be misused? One, it could be misused by the data being used.
Yes, terrorism is just an excuse Modi and Shah want to see. Hold on, this is there you go. Yeah, see, that's why like when we covered this like the first time, like a month ago, like it was like, oh, I want to see your news. Hold on, where's the thing? Yeah, YouTube, my our channel. Like, where is this? Hold on, where is this? Sanchar Sati. How do you? Yeah. Like, why do you think this page was? Like, obviously, they want your nudes. Yes.
In a number of other cases. For example, there could be a forcible use by the government. It could be used by CBI or investigating officers when it cannot otherwise be used. It could be used by litigants, etc., by forcing disclosing of certain details, or it could just be misused by planting of evidence, etc. So those checks have to be
Planting on evidence is actually a serious problem. What is to, like, if they have a DNA copy of literally every person in India and they want to entrap someone, they can just claim that, oh, the DNA was found here. Everything else is like, they can just like, oh, rakha hai, dekho, like paper pe hai, humko mila hai. Like, no one's going to check, especially with the judiciary being the judiciary right now. They are not going to be like, is it really? Did you actually find it? Where is the list? Where was it found? They're not going to ask any of this.
done by the government.
Many claim that the DNA profiling bill is a violation of human rights as it could compromise with the
He's not DNA profiling, by the way. He's literally looking at like a structure of an compound. This is not DNA profiling. Sorry.
privacy of individuals. That's because all details of a person's body and his DNA profile
That's histology.
will be with the state. It will be used not only in the settlement of criminal cases but also
That's not how you do it. You have to wear gloves.
in civil matters, like using DNA
Like inka like stock video is also like so fucking bad.
profiling in matters such as surrogacy, maternity or paternity check, organ transplantation and immigration. The International Human Rights Declaration and the 1964 Helsinki Agreement are also being cited for the case against it. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The right to privacy is a fundamental right. There have been questions over the violation of privacy in the human DNA profiling bill drafted by the Law Commission. The International Society for Forensic Genetics also talks about an individual's privacy. In our next report, let's find out the guidelines set up internationally for the DNA profiling.
Anyway, so the next thing that this government did was it brought out another shit. This was the broadcast bill. One, like, so we are just going to watch Ravish Kumar. Ravish Kumar is the best. Also, I found like a channel today that was like like AI copy of Ravish Kumar.
क्या भारत सरकार यूट्यूबर को भी दबोच
This is one of the issues. Like one of the things that they tried to do but didn't go well for them. We are going to come what they're trying to do now. We are just going through the chronology right now.
दबोचने की तैयारी कर रही है। मीडिया की गर्दन दबोचने और मरोड़ने के बाद आप गोदी मीडिया की मिमियाहट देख चुके हैं। अब
So he's saying like after like killing the actual media, like the mainstream media, but like NDTV, for example, he was part of NDTV. He was fired when Adani acquired NDTV because he was like the only good people over there. Now they're coming after YouTubers.
YouTube पर कुछ पत्रकार, कुछ विचारक, कुछ टिप्पणीकार, कुछ क्रिएटर तरह तरह से सरकार और आज के हालात पर टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं। उन सभी को ब्रॉडकास्टर नाम का एक पाजामा पहनाया जा रहा है। केवल पत्रकार ही नहीं, कॉमेडियन भी इसके दायरे में आ सकते हैं और वो लोग भी
Like broadcaster was literally anyone who uses the internet. Like if you are on Twitter, you post a tweet, whatever it may be. You say hello to your friend. You are a broadcaster under the broadcaster bill. That is why it was so wide.
जो अपने कुकरी शो में दाल पकाते बकाते यह बता देते हैं कि साक्षी मलिक रोती रही मगर मीडिया हंसता रहा, किसी ने दिखाया नहीं। YouTube आज के समय में स्वतंत्र आवाज की जगह है। अगर यह भी खत्म हो गया तो आपके पास क्या बचेगा? क्यों ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल को यूट्यूबर के लिए खतरा बताया जा रहा है? प्रधानमंत्री ने 10 साल में एक भी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं की है। कायदे से मोदी सरकार को बिल इस बारे में लाना चाहिए जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री के लिए अनिवार्य किया जाए कि वह हर साल 10 खुली प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे, लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में कम से कम 10 बार जवाब देंगे। आप जानते हैं कि मौजूदा प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने 10 साल में एक भी खुली प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं की है। विपक्ष तो उन पर यह भी आरोप लगाता है कि सदन में भी जवाब नहीं देते हैं। ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल के बारे में आपसे बात करना चाहता हूं। यह केवल हम जैसे यूट्यूबर पत्रकारों के लिए जरूरी नहीं है, बल्कि आप जैसे दर्शकों के लिए भी बहुत जरूरी है इसके बारे में जानना। आप वो दर्शक हैं जिनके पास स्वाभिमान बचा है। आपने गोदी मीडिया के गुलाम कंटेंट देखने से इनकार किया है। एक तरह से आजादी की यह लड़ाई आपने लड़ी है। अब यूट्यूबर को ब्रॉडकास्टर बनाकर उस पर तरह तरह के कानूनी प्रावधान डालकर सरकार आपके पीछे भी आती नजर आ रही है। ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल को लेकर जिस तरह की आशंकाएं जताई जा रही हैं, अगर उनमें जरा भी दम है तब आप जैसे दर्शक नागरिकों के लिए बहुत मुश्किल होने वाला है, क्योंकि जब सूचना नहीं होगी, सूचना पवित्र नहीं होगी और स्वतंत्र नहीं होगी, तो आप जिंदा कैसे रहेंगे और नागरिक कैसे बन पाएंगे। पिछले 3-4 वर्षों में YouTube पर ऐसे कई पत्रकार, कमेंटेटर लोकप्रिय हुए हैं जिन्हें बड़ी संख्या में दर्शक देखने लगे हैं। इन पत्रकारों के लिए अब मुख्यधारा के मीडिया में कोई जगह नहीं है और जिन्हें जगह मिली है वे मोदी सरकार से सवाल कर ही नहीं सकते। अब तो यह बीमारी राज्यों में भी फैल रही है। अफसोस कि विपक्ष के राज्यों में भी पसर रही है।
Imagine this bill was actually pushed forward and we would have to have like a person sitting like behind me over here who's like telling me what to say, what not to say every 5 seconds. That is what the broadcast bill was.
इतने बड़े देश में आपके पास गिनाने के लिए 10-20 पत्रकार भी नहीं हैं जो इनकी तरह सरकार से सवाल कर सकें, जनता के मुद्दों को उठा सकें और उन खबरों से पर्दा हटा दें जिससे सरकार चाहती है कि पर्दा ना उठे। यह हालत है आज के भारत की। आप जैसे कमाल के स्वाभिमानी दर्शक नहीं होते तो इन पत्रकारों की दुनिया वीरान हो चुकी होती और टोटल कंट्रोल का सपना पूरा हो गया होता। YouTube की अपनी सीमाएं हैं और कमियां भी हैं, मगर मीडिया से जबरन बाहर होने पर मजबूर किए गए इन 10-20 पत्रकारों के लिए अब कोई सहारा नहीं बचा है, बल्कि आप जैसे दर्शकों के लिए भी YouTube आखिरी सहारा है। यहां आप केवल दर्शक नहीं हैं, बल्कि आप भी अपना फोन उठाकर वीडियो बनाकर अपनी बात कह सकते हैं, खबरों पर टिप्पणी कर सकते हैं। आप वो दर्शक हैं जो किसी तरह घटिया गोदी मीडिया
He's just like buttering up us. Like he's just saying we are very smart people to watch
के
this.
चैनलों से जान छुड़ाकर अपनी आदतें बदलकर YouTube पर पहुंचे हैं ताकि कुछ अलग देखें, लेकिन
I'm just
लगता
gonna
है
go to the
सरकार
meat of
को
this.
और उनमें से लगती है आपका दिमाग भी खुलने लग जाता है और आप
I love Ravish. I love him very much. He's an amazing reporter
जनता बनने लग
and a
जाते
journalist. No, hold on. Journalist, yeah.
हैं। 20 दिसंबर को दिल्ली में डिजिटल पब्लिशर्स की संस्था डिजीपब ने ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल और टेलीकॉम बिल पर चर्चा आयोजित की। डिजीपब 60 डिजिटल पब्लिशर्स का संगठन है जिसका मैं भी सदस्य हूं। आप भी अगर कंटेंट क्रिएटर हैं तो डिजीपब के सदस्य बन सकते हैं। संविधान और कानून
I should probably join. Arif, what is Arif?
पर YouTube वीडियो बनाने वाले मेघनाथ, क्विंट की रितु कपूर, पर्यावरण पर रिपोर्ट करने वाले पत्रकार हृदय जोशी, द मूक नायक की मीना कोटवाल और मकतूब मीडिया के संपादक ने इसमें हिस्सा लिया। ये सभी वो पत्रकार हैं जो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पर स्वतंत्र रूप से काम करते हैं। इस चर्चा में पत्रकारों ने कई बातें कही जिससे सुनने के बाद लगा कि आप दर्शकों के बीच भी इसकी बात की जाए। हृदय जोशी ने कहा कि चिंता केवल लोकप्रिय और ज्यादा सब्सक्राइबर वाले यूट्यूबर को लेकर नहीं होनी चाहिए, बल्कि गांव देहात में काम करने वाले यूट्यूबर को लेकर भी होनी चाहिए। उन्हें यह बिल किस तरह से प्रभावित करने वाला
What the hell is a digipub?
है इस पर बात हो और अंत में एकदम अंतिम छोर पर बची पत्रकारिता अब बचेगी या नहीं, यह सवाल सबके सामने होना चाहिए। टेलीकॉम बिल पर अपार गुप्ता, तनवीर ओबेरॉय, वृंदा भंडारी, श्रेया सिंघल जैसे वकीलों ने अपनी बात रखी। टेलीकॉम बिल पास हो गया है लोकसभा और राज्यसभा से भी। सरकारी एजेंसियों के द्वारा आप तक
Arif emote is not showing up for you for some reason. Yeah, probably because I don't. So the thing is, the whole thing is going through like social stream ninja or something. So maybe because of that.
केवल इस बिल की खूबियां पहुंचाई गई हैं, लेकिन इस पैनल में जो सवाल उठाए गए मीडिया में भी उस पर विस्तार से चर्चा नहीं हुई। ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल को अभी सदन में पेश नहीं किया गया है, लेकिन यह कानून अगर पास हो गया तब क्या एक आम यूट्यूबर सरकार के चंगुल में आ जाएगा? वकील अपार गुप्ता का कहना है कि ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल और टेलीकम्युनिकेशन बिल और डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल को आप अलग अलग ना देखें। इन तीनों बिलों का आपस में गहरा संबंध है। तीनों बिल एक दूसरे के उद्देश्य की पूर्ति करते हैं, जिसका संबंध नियंत्रण से है। सरकार सूचनाओं और सवालों और मुद्दों के प्रसारण पर पूरी तरह नियंत्रण रखना चाहती है। अपार डिजिटल तानाशाही जैसी धारणा का इस्तेमाल करते हैं।
Here it's important for us to understand that the telecom bill is in a series of proposals and actual laws which have been passed which seek to govern and control how we transmit information. It includes the Post Office's bill, it includes the ID rules, it includes the Digital Data Protection Act, and it also includes the proposal which is presently in consultation called the Broadcasting Services Bill, right? Now, what is the common thread between all of these proposals has been one, the increase of certain chosen private firms which provide us these services, which is essentially the government picking what are called as national champions, right? Very large conglomerates. And the second is the growth of the government's own power over the lives of every ordinary Indian. These are the two common threads which run through it. And how does it justify this?
I'm gonna move on from here a bit.
पर वीडियो बनाता हुआ उसकी पोल खोल देता है। कंटेंट अफेयर्स पे फिर भी उनके काम धंधे पर कोई असर नहीं पड़ा, अभी भी वैसा ही सब कुछ चल रहा है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ही कहा है कि नफरत फैलाने के कई सारे बारीक तरीके होते हैं। यूट्यूब की दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है, लाखों लोग कंटेंट बना रहे हैं, लेकिन करंट अफेयर्स वालों पर इतनी निगरानी क्यों? क्या सामाजिक राजनीतिक स्तर पर टिप्पणी करना सरकार के लिए चिंता का इतना बड़ा कारण बन गया है? हम आज इसी पर बात करने वाले हैं। मेघनाथ ने इस बिल के बारे में बहुत गौर से सोचा है। उनका अपना एक यूट्यूब चैनल है जिसका अंग्रेजी नाम है मेघनर्ड, MEGHNERD, जिस पर वे अंग्रेजी में इसके बारे में विस्तार से बात कर चुके हैं। आज हम उनके साथ हिंदी में इस पर बात करेंगे। मेघनाथ, आपका स्वागत है। हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि अब पत्रकार, जर्नलिस्ट के साथ साथ कई तरह के टर्म का इस्तेमाल होता है। यूट्यूबर, कंटेंट क्रिएटर, ब्रॉडकास्टर भी एक नया आ गया है और जर्नलिस्ट भी इस्तेमाल होता है। तो इन सारी जो अलग अलग अवधारणाएं हैं, लेकिन काम सबका एक ही है, एक ही तरह का है। ब्रॉडकास्ट बिल कैसे सबको एक दायरे में लाता है और इसके खतरे क्या हैं? अगर सारे यूट्यूबर जो प्रोग्राम बना रहे हैं कंटेंट अफेयर्स पे, वो अगर ब्रॉडकास्टर कहे जाएंगे सरकार की नजर
Meghnath made it. I think he made it a long time ago. Like, I'm not even joking. I think he made it a long time ago.
में, तो फिर कानून उन पर किस तरह से हमला करेगा?
तो मैं मेरा खुद का ही एग्जांपल लेता हूँ। मैंने ग्राउंड रिपोर्टिंग किया है न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री के लिए, मैंने पार्लियामेंट कवर किया है, इलेक्शंस कवर किया है। तो तब मैं सोचता था मैं एक जर्नलिस्ट हूँ, लेकिन आज मैं खुद को जर्नलिस्ट नहीं बोलता हूँ, मैं खुद को कंटेंट क्रिएटर।
This was 2 years ago. Yeah, he had him for the sake of the broadcast bill. I watched this like when it came out. I've been following Ravish for way too long.
बोलता हूँ क्योंकि मेरे जर्नलिज्म के साथ साथ मैं कुछ ओपिनियंस भी देता हूँ और लोगों को बताता हूँ कि डेमोक्रेसी का मतलब क्या होता है, सरकार के से सवाल कैसे पूछने चाहिए। अंग्रेजी में करता हूँ पर मेरे चैनल पे करता हूँ। तो अभी हो क्या रहा है कि एक जो डेफिनेशन थी पत्रकार की और कंटेंट क्रिएटर की, वो पूरी तरह से ब्लर हो गई है। और ये एक बिल है जिसकी वजह से वो और ही कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाएगा। जैसे मैं एक उदाहरण के तौर पे ही बता दूंगा, इसमें जिस तरीके से ब्रॉडकास्टर को डिफाइन किया गया है, आप भी पढ़ सकते हैं यहाँ पे, 1 to many ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ ऑडियो विजुअल और ऑडियो प्रोग्राम्स, इसको बोलते हैं ब्रॉडकास्टिंग। मतलब आप कोई भी आवाज से या विजुअल से या दोनों तरीके से, अगर आप या मीम से भी, तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर आप कंटेंट क्रिएटर हो, जैसे आप इंस्टाग्राम पे एक मीम पेज चला रहे हो, उस पे आप सोशल कमेंट्री कर रहे हो। अब मीम से भी सोशल कमेंट्री होती है। आपने मोदी जी का एक कुछ लगा दिया, उस पे मोए मोए का म्यूजिक लगा दिया, वो भी सोशल कमेंट्री एक तरीके से। तो वो भी ब्रॉडकास्टिंग के इसमें परिभाषा में ये इंक्लूड हो सकती है। और इतना ब्रॉड रखा गया है इसको कि जनरल पब्लिक और सब्सक्राइबर्स अगर आपका कुछ भी कंज्यूम करेंगे तो आपको एक ब्रॉडकास्टर बोला जाएगा। और इसमें स्पेसिफिकली इंटरनेट ब्रॉडकास्टिंग सर्विस इंक्लूड की गई है। तो यूट्यूबर और इंस्टाग्राम और ट्विटर तो एक बात है ही, लेकिन आप सोचिए कि अगर आप एक कोई व्हाट्सएप का ग्रुप चला रहे हैं और व्हाट्सएप के ग्रुप पे अगर आप कोई एक करंट अफेयर्स का वीडियो डाल दिया, उसमें है 200-300 लोग और वो अब फॉरवर्ड हो रहा है दूसरे ग्रुप्स में, तो क्या ये बिल के तहत वो भी ब्रॉडकास्टर हो जाएगा? क्योंकि वो भी तो ऑडियो विजुअल मीडियम ही हो गया है वैसे ही।
तो ये स्पष्ट है या इसमें स्पष्ट है कि व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाकर अपना वीडियो, कई बार हमें ऐसे वीडियो मिलते हैं जो किसी चैनल पर नहीं होते, ना न्यूज चैनल पे ना यूट्यूब चैनल पे, मगर कोई क्रिएटर बनाकर वो पॉलिटिकली भी होता है और इंडिपेंडेंट लोग भी करते हैं
जी।
तो वो भी इसके दायरे में है।
तो इतना ब्रॉड रखा गया इसको कि वो क्लैरिफिकेशन है ही नहीं इसमें। मतलब हो क्या रहा है, जैसे आपने जैसे बोला कि अपार ने बोला कि ये जो 3 बिल आपने बोले हैं, इसमें एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि कोई स्पेसिफिसिटी नहीं है इसमें। अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊं रूल्स के कितने पेज है, तो 5-6 पेजेस तो रूल्स से ही भरे हुए कि सरकार सोचेगी कि आपके कितने सब्सक्राइबर होंगे वो हम बताएंगे, आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन कैसा करना पड़ेगा वो भी हम बताएंगे, और वो प्रिस्क्राइब रूल्स से करेंगे। मतलब इसका मतलब है कानून पास होने के बाद वो एक रूल्स बनाएंगे इसके अंडर, और फिर वो चेंज करते रहेंगे, और उसमें आप इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी भी इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं।
मतलब
जैसे
जो अभी आया नहीं,
जो अभी तक आया नहीं,
ट्विटर के बाद एआई से कुछ और आ जाए, फेसबुक जैसा, व्हाट्सएप जैसा, यूट्यूब जैसा,
बिल्कुल
वो भी इसमें डाल दिया।
वो भी
Hi, I'm back. So, yeah. So they literally made a bill that was like so fucking open that like literally they can add anything into it. Tomorrow they can go back and add newspaper as a broadcaster as well. I mean, it was already, but still. Or like they can add like a pinger as a broadcaster. It was a very stupid bill, but it was one of the things that they tried to do to control the public opinion about themselves.
इसमें डाल दिया, या फिर ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि वो कुछ डालना भूल गए बीच में। आप अगर कल लाउड स्पीकर लेके अगर बालकनी में खड़े होके चिल्ला रहे होंगे,
अगर न्यूज पढ़ रहे हैं, जैसे मैं कहता हूं कि अगर आप चारों तरफ से बंद कर दें, तो मैं मेले में जाकर सड़क पे खड़ा होकर न्यूज पढ़ सकता हूं जी, तो उस पर भी रोक लग सकती है।
तो मतलब वो इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी हो जाएगा, किसी ने रिकॉर्ड करके डाल दिया तो वो भी हो सकता है,
वो भी हो सकता है।
तो इस तरीके से ये जो कुछ बिल्स लाए गए हैं अभी, मैं इनको कमांड एंड कंट्रोल बिल्स बोलता हूँ।
कमांड एंड कंट्रोल बिल्स
मतलब कम्युनिकेशंस को कैसे कंट्रोल किया जाए पूरी तरीके से, इसमें काफी ऐसे प्रावधान हैं। ये तो एक ही मैं आज बात कर रहा हूँ, आई थिंक अपार आपके साथ टेलीकॉम बिल के भी बात करेगा।
लेकिन मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि इसमें कौन सा ऐसा प्रावधान है जिसे एक कॉमन यूट्यूबर के लिए समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वो इसमें आता है या नहीं आता है, या वो ये ना समझे कि ये कानून मेघनाथ के लिए है या रवीश के लिए है, हम तो कॉमेडी करते हैं, हम नहीं हैं और हम कुछ और करते हैं, या फिर अगर हम ये काम छोड़कर कॉमेडी या कुकरी पर शो बनाने लगे तो तब भी क्या हम पाबंदी के दायरे में ही रहेंगे या हमें मुक्ति मिल जाएगी?
इसमें एक स्पेसिफिक न्यूज़ और करंट अफेयर्स करके एक सेक्शन डाला गया है। अच्छा। इसमें उन्होंने बोला है कि
यही, बाकी कहीं स्पेसिफिक नहीं है,
यही न्यूज़ और करंट अफेयर्स, पर इसको डिफाइन करने का भी एक बहुत मजेदार तरीका है। न्यूज़
When Meghanad started out on YouTube, he got excited to learn that Ravish had mentioned one of his reports from News Laundry in his video. Good for Meghanad. Ravish is without a doubt gold standard of exactly. Yeah. Ravish is the gold standard of journalism, especially in India.
और करंट अफेयर्स आप बताइए मुझे, आपके हिसाब से फैक्चुअल न्यूज़ इंफॉर्मेशन स्प्रेड करना सरकार के बारे में, बट ऑल्सो इवेंट्स के बारे में बात करना, मेरे हिसाब से ये न्यूज़ और करंट अफेयर्स होता है। उन्होंने क्या किया है, इसमें दिया है कि रीसेंट इवेंट्स प्राइमरीली ऑफ सोशियो पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल नेचर। तो अब इसमें इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल नेचर, सोशियो पॉलिटिकल में क्या क्या आता है, ये मुझे थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा है, क्योंकि कल्चरल नेचर अगर आप बोल दोगे तो फिर अगर आप जैसे कोई वो एक नया शो आया है उसमें कोई पॉलिटिकल इसके बारे में बात हो रही है, या फिर कोई लैंड ग्रैब के बारे में बात हो रही है, वो भी एक तरीके से सोशियो पॉलिटिकल और कल्चरल इशू ही हो गया। तो क्या आप वो भी ब्रॉडकास्ट है, वो भी है ना, मतलब न्यूज एंड करंट अफेयर्स तो एक है।
उनके जो धार्मिक प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाए जा रहे हैं, एंटी मुस्लिम प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाए जा रहे हैं, अगर कोई उसके 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 काउंटर में प्रोग्राम बनाता है रिलीजन पे, जो बताता है कि कैसे सभी धर्मों का आपस में सम्मान रहा भारत में, सब मिलजुल के रहे, तो वो कल्चरल इवेंट में आ जाएगा। और उस तरह के बहुत सारे मेले हैं भारत में, उस तरह के बहुत सारे धार्मिक आयोजन हैं
जी,
तो वो दिखाना भी आ जाएगा इसमें करंट अफेयर्स में।
वो वही ना,
वो स्कोप भी गया। हाँ,
तो अब वो लेयर्स हो जाते हैं फिर, राइट। आप वो एक प्रोग्राम कर रहे हो, वो कल्चरल हो गया। अगर किसी ने वीडियो ला के डाल दिया तो वो ब्रॉडकास्ट हो गया, क्योंकि वो अब ट्रांसमिट कर रहा है ऑडियो विजुअल मीन्स में। तो एक तरीके से ये लेयर्ड वे से सबको इंक्लूड किया जाएगा उसमें।
और क्या लिखा हुआ है उसमें? तो ये लिखने से चिंता की बात क्या है जो वहां उन्होंने न्यूज एंड करंट अफेयर्स में लिखा है, उसके बारे में?
तो मेरा एक ही है। एक तो आप सोचिए अभी हम कैसे एनवायरनमेंट में ये लॉज आ रहे हैं, इस पे थोड़ा सा बात कर सकते हैं। पॉलिटिकल, एक तो पॉलिटिकल हमारा एक एनवायरनमेंट बन चुका है जहां पर आपने जैसे कहा गोदी मीडिया जो है वो सरकार की साइड से बात कर रही है। कुछ रेजिस्टेंस हो रहा है जो कि यूट्यूबर्स, ट्विटर, इंस्टाग्राम और छोटे छोटे लोग जो टेक्स्ट में कुछ लिख के डाल रहे हैं इंस्टाग्राम पे, थोड़ा सा रेजिस्ट कर रहे हैं, वो हो रहा है। हुआ क्या कि ये जो बिल है, ये जो ब्रॉडकास्टिंग बिल है, ये केबल टेलीविजन एक्ट को रिप्लेस करने के लिए लाया, ऐसे बोला गया। अब गवर्नमेंट एक जैसे बोलते हैं डीकॉलोनाइज करने के चक्कर में पड़ी है कि ब्रिटिशर्स।
The thing is, when it comes to decolonization, decolonization does not mean remove everything that is good. It means to decolonize the mindset of people that we are too wholly and solely dependent on the West. That's decolonization. Here, they use the term decolonization as a catch-all for like, oh, they gave us modern medicine. They gave us, I don't know, this bill or whatever, which is good or bad, doesn't matter. We don't want it. We are going to use Ayurveda and kill people. That's what it means.
ने जो लॉज लाए हम वो डीकॉलोनाइज करेंगे। टेलीकम्युनिकेशन बिल जो लाया था वो टेलीग्राफ एक्ट रिप्लेस करने के लिए आया। ये केबल टेलीविजन। हुआ क्या कि पहले आपको बस टीवी को कंट्रोल करना था, अब इंटरनेट आ गया है और इंटरनेट से सोशल मीडिया आ गया है, काफी और इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज आ रही है, उस पर रेगुलेशन करने के लिए ये सब प्रयास किया जा रहा है। एक तरीके से टेलीग्राफ एक्ट के अंडर आप इंटरनेट तो बंद कर दोगे, लेकिन टेलीकम्युनिकेशन एक्ट के तहत आप पूरे कम्युनिकेशन नेटवर्क को कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। अच्छा। तो ब्रॉडकास्टिंग बिल में थोड़ा सा अलग है, आपको देखना होगा। तो यहाँ से नेटवर्क कंट्रोल होगा और यहाँ से आपके यूजर्स को कंट्रोल किया जाएगा। यहाँ से ब्रॉडकास्टर्स पे एक प्रोग्राम कोड लगाया जाएगा। अब
ये क्या है? इसके बारे में आपने प्रोग्राम कोड की बात की।
तो प्रोग्राम कोड जो है वो बहुत ही मजेदार है। केबल टेलीविजन एक्ट के अंडर एक प्रोग्राम कोड हुआ करता था, अब तो मतलब ये अभी आया नहीं है, रिपील करने की बात हो रही है। अब वो एक नया प्रोग्राम कोड लाएंगे। उसके अंडर अगर आप पब्लिक डिसेंसी, मोरालिटी या फिर स्नॉबिश एटीट्यूड जैसी कुछ प्रोग्राम करेंगे तो सरकार उसको बंद करवा सकती है। और
so literally this channel, like I am a snob most of the days. That's like I call them dickheads like most of the days. So like targeting this channel specifically, this was the broadcasting bill. Thank God it did not pass.
आपके चैनल पे बैन लगा सकती है। तो इसमें बोला
like ban in India, not like worldwide ban. They don't have the power. Like everything they do is kind of illegal anyway.
गया है कि अभी
इन्होंने जो गोदी मीडिया चल रहा है उसमें तो कहीं भी डिसेंसी नहीं है।
सर वही है ना कि वो इंटरप्रेट करेंगे कि क्या डिसेंट है।
वो कहेंगे कि आप आपका कहना डिसेंट नहीं, आप स्नॉबिश एटीट्यूड। आपने जो अभी मोनोलॉग पढ़ा, मैं देख रहा था, मैं बोलूंगा कि वो बहुत स्नॉबिश था सर। वो भी बोल सकते हैं, स्नॉबिश हो सकता है। बंद कीजिए आप।
बंद कीजिए। एक यहाँ पे भी आप अगर लैंग्वेज देखेंगे, यहाँ पे भी दिया गया है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इंटरेस्ट ऑफ, एक तो वो सॉवरेनिटी, इंटीग्रिटी, सिक्योरिटी ऑफ इंडिया, वो तो शब्द आ ही जाता है। फ्रेंडली रिलेशंस ऑफ फॉरेन स्टेट, मतलब देश को बचाने के लिए ओवरऑल, राइट। बट यहाँ पे इन्होंने पब्लिक ऑर्डर, डिसेंसी, मोरालिटी यहाँ पे
हमें बेरोजगार कर दीजिए है ना, मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया से, और हम पे देश को बचाने का भी जिम्मा ला दीजिए इस कानून से, और उसके नाम पे हम जहाँ बचे हुए हैं वहां भी खत्म कर दीजिए।
See, the point of this is like, this is going for a bit too long. I'll bite, fine. But the point of it was they wanted to control everything in relation to what people do on the internet. Every single aspect of it. You send a message to, like, in a group chat, you are a fucking broadcaster according to this bill, and this is the bill they wanted to put in. The second thing that happened, like right after this, was the DPDP Act section. The reason we are moving, because like the thing is going way too long. It's like an hour. I'm not going to watch an hour. So DPDP, that was also 2 years ago. This is like just the concerns of the act. We'll go through them one after the other.
Imagine a world where every bit of your personal information you've ever shared online, from your favorite vacation spots to your shopping habits, is stored, analyzed, and possibly shared without your clear understanding
That was the DPDP Act.
or direct consent. This isn't a plot for a sci-fi movie, it's the reality we're navigating. And the key protector between our personal data and potential misuse, the Data Protection Bill. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 was passed recently. But it has not all been smooth sailing. Not only have there been concerns raised by the opposition about our rights to privacy information, but it's worth noting that this isn't the bill's first appearance. A previous version was pulled back by the union government just last year, with many opposition MPs vocalizing their apprehensions. Today, let's deep dive to understand how it directly impacts you and me. First up, the process. The Digital Protection Data Bill 2023 was introduced with some degree of secrecy. Remember those terms and conditions you never read but always agreed to? Recall 25th May 2018 when a precursor to this bill was introduced. The public's feedback? Kept under wraps by the ministry. An RTI was filed seeking these details, but it was denied. Now, with procedural steps possibly sidestepped and the bill tabled without highlighting changes based on public feedback, it feels like decisions were made behind closed doors, sidelining our voice. This bill had a somewhat similar introduction. One significant concern was that comments from the public wouldn't be made public by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Moreover, certain steps in the parliamentary procedure may have been sidestepped, raising procedural concerns. With consultations notes not made public, it feels like
One more thing that they did with the RTI, and we'll come to it, is that they changed RTI rules, in which case they made it completely opaque on what they are and how they are going to do any of this. Right to Information Act has been curbed in India.
distant decision being made without our direct participation. Now its scope. The bill decides to step aside when you make data public or due to a law. Think about all the posts, pictures, and tweets. The bill's approach? If it's out there, it's free for all, even if you later regret taking that karaoke night photo. Publicly available personal data are excluded from the bill's purview. It means that if you share personal data on platforms like social media, this data is not protected against unpatented scraping. This could pave the way for firms like Clearview AI, a company known for scraping billions of photos from the internet to power its facial recognition system to exploit this loophole. With such a gap in the bill, companies could potentially gather and use your images without explicit consent, much like Clearview AI has been controversially doing.
It's not just Clearview AI, it's also Palantir.
Speaking of regret, what if you never knew where your data was going or for how long? Unlike its predecessors, this bill allows your data to be passed around like a hot potato without letting you know who's holding it next. Now, data collectors or fiduciaries are no longer mandated to inform you about third parties accessing your data, storage duration, or if your data...
They can just give all of your data to Palantir for whatever the fucking purpose, to basically track you at this end of the day. Like, your data is not safe whatsoever. That is a problem.
Double cross borders. And here is where it gets a bit shady. The bill allows certain legitimate uses where your data can be processed without your informed nod. It's like someone borrowing your car without asking because they deemed it necessary. While the deemed consent clause has been replaced, the bill still permits data processing in certain situations without explicit consent. Your data could be used without your approval in ambiguous circumstances. But wait, there's a twist. While they use your data, you've got duties too. If you raise inaccurate or misleading complaints, you might face a penalty. Acting carelessly
The penalty is not for the people handling your data. The penalty is for the people who raise issues. That is the difference. The other person, if they mismanage your data, there are no penalties here.
Carelessly or lodging unfounded complaints could set you back by 10,000 rupees. On the global stage, your data could be jet-setting without clear guidelines. While there's a no-go list of countries, the reasons for their blacklist status remains in the shadows. The bill has switched from allowing specific countries to receive Indian data to explicitly blocking some. However, the criteria determining these blacklisted countries are not mentioned. Now, of course, there are exemptions galore. Businesses, especially startups, may get a free pass on some provisions. And the government, their data use power expand even more. It feels a bit like some people are playing by a different rule book. The government has widened its exemption powers. The union government can exempt any data collected by certain entities, a move that could potentially dilute our right to privacy. Now, oversight is crucial, but the independence of the Data Protection Board, our watchdog, is under the microscope. It's akin to having a referee in the game, but the team decides who gets the whistle. All appointments to the board responsible for your data's safety and privacy concerns will now be made by the union government, potentially undermining its independence. Our right to information, a beacon of transparency, gets dimmer. The new bill could remove the public interest exception to disclosure of personal information, weakening the power of the RTI Act.
The RTI Act has been curbed. Just letting you know, this happened after, but the RTI Act has been curbed, where they will not be giving the information about any specific people. I don't know why. Because they're saying like, oh, personal information cannot be publicized, but it's the personal information about people like contractors. You can't pinpoint who is doing the corruption.
The big elephant in the room, surveillance. While technology advances, our privacy protections against broad surveillance have taken a backseat in this bill. It's the classic Big Brother is watching, feeling turned up a notch. The bill lacks strong safeguards against excessive surveillance, jeopardizing our privacy rights. Lastly, controlling the narrative. The union government can block access to information if deemed against public interest. It's like having a conversation, but some topics are off the table. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 is more than just another piece of legislation. It's about our choices, our privacy, and our future in a digital age. As we keep a close watch on its evolution, understanding its nuances helps us make informed choices and champion for a future where our data is truly ours.
Journalism at News.
Okay. So first one was the DNA profiling. The second one was the broadcasting bill. The third one was the DPDP. The fourth thing that came up is India's new data rules. So I think this is the DPDP as well. There were again amendments to it, which were also bad. Then there was a Sanchar Sati. We covered the Sanchar Sati when it came in. It was bad. It is still bad. Sanchar Sati was issued as an application that will track you. It was something that had, like, it's going to be pre-installed in every phone. It cannot be removed unless you root the phone. Rooting was made illegal. App is clearly accessible. App should always be there, cannot be removed. It needs permission for location. It needed permissions for your file system. It needed permission to the internet. It needed permission to everything. And it was shit. Thanks to the public outcry, this was taken aback. But this still exists. They were crying like, oh, it's not that big of a problem. It's not, it's like you can just delete it, whatever. But if you have to delete an app, is that app really an option? Because the option should be that you should be able to download the app. That is the option that you should be given, not that you should be allowed to delete the app. And the app was not being able to delete anyway. Why is this not playing?
Controversy over Sanchar Sati app. This app has been at the center of a heated debate over privacy, surveillance, and the government's role in our smartphones. Amid opposition's charge, Union Telecom Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia today issued a clarification saying the app is not mandatory. Listen in to what Scindia said.
The app was made mandatory. Scindia was lying here, remember.
इसके आधार पर ना कोई स्नूपिंग है, ना कोई कॉल मॉनिटरिंग है.
So why did the Sanchar Sathi app require you to give permission to your phone logs?
अगर आप चाहते हो तो इसको आप एक्टिवेट करो, अगर आप नहीं चाहते तो इसे एक्टिवेट मत करो.
But the app is going to be on your phone, pre-installed. That was the problem.
सुनिए ना, अगर आप इसको अपने फोन पे रखना चाहते हो तो रखो, अगर आप इसको डिलीट करना चाहते हो तो डिलीट करो.
This statement comes after opposition mounting attack that the Sanchar Sathi app is yet another move by Modi government for state surveillance. So what exactly triggered all of this? The controversy began when a confidential memo, first reported by Reuters, suggested that smartphone manufacturers would soon be required to pre-install Sanchar Sathi on all new devices sold in India. Soon after, a PIB note confirmed that the Department of Telecommunications had indeed issued directions asking companies like Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi and Vivo to pre-install the app and ensure that its features were not disabled. The note also suggested that older devices
So Apple pushed back against it, and that's why one of the reasons why it was taken aback later on.
might receive the app through future software updates. This raised some key questions as well as opposition's furor. Before we get to those concerns, let's understand what the app actually is. Sanchar Sathi began as a web portal in 2023, designed to help telecom users identify fraud, report stolen phones, and verify SIM connections. The mobile app version officially rolled out in January 2025, aiming to make these tools more accessible. Once installed, the app connects your device to CEIR, the Central Equipment Identity Register, which is a national database of IMEI numbers. This is the heart of the system. If you lose your phone, you can use the app to block its IMEI across all networks in India. That means the device becomes useless. Even if someone removes the SIM, swaps it, or tries to reset
All of this was available already through Apple and Android. It did not require another app.
sell the phone in the second hand.
If people who know how to do this are already doing it, adding an app is not going to change anything. People who do not know anything are not going to do it anyway.
Market. Another key feature is Know Your Mobile Connections, which shows your every mobile number is linked to your identity. This helps identify fraudulent SIMs issued using
We already had Aadhaar for that, but that was a massive failure, remember.
your documents without your knowledge, something that has become increasingly common. The Department of Telecommunications says Sanchar Sathi has already made a measurable impact. According to its data, the platform has received 2.48 lakh fraud-related complaints, processed 2.9 crore requests from users checking mobile connections linked to their IDs, and helped block 3.7 million stolen devices, recovered over 7 lakh phones, and terminated 13 million fraudulent SIMs. These are massive numbers, and they reflect the scale of telecom fraud in India. But despite this utility, the permissions requested by the app, including access to call logs, photos, videos, and device state, sparked public concern. While the government insists that the app does not collect personal data, users have questioned why such permissions were needed at all. The political reaction was swift. Opposition leaders, including Congress KC Venugopal, sharply criticized the move, posting on X, "Big Brother cannot watch us." Many argued that making such an app mandatory would set a dangerous precedent for device-level state control. Others drew comparisons to practices in countries where pre-installed government apps have been used to monitor citizens.
Russia and China, to be precise with you, and North Korea. This app was a copy of the looked like the copy of the app from North Korea. But the sensors there are so strong that if you say something, like if you type South Korea, you just it autocorrects to something like territory of Korea or like a failed country or something. I don't really remember what it was.
Adding to the uncertainty is the question of compliance. Reuters report suggests that companies like Apple, known for strict control over system apps, may not agree to pre-install government-mandated applications, setting up a potential clash with the government's directive. And that brings us back to Scindia's clarification. His statement clears up some of the confusion, especially around whether the app is compulsory or whether it tracks calls or messages. It also reassures users that deleting the app will not affect their device's functionality. But several questions remain. What about the invasive permissions the system version requests? Can users fully disable those permissions? And how will data, if collected, be stored and protected? We will keep a close watch on this developing story. Thank you for watching.
They did not keep a close watch on the developing story, and it is us that do keep it, because I'm still to see an update on what is happening right now. So, the news story that is happening right now. Thank you everyone for waiting. The newest thing that happened within the telecom industry is that, so this is still old, but fine, whatever. Telecom companies were asked to keep the surveillance, like through location setting, on completely. Like you cannot switch it off anymore. This is what India has asked them telecom companies to do. This is also a huge problem. So they can track every single person on the planet. Your GPS will always be on. It will always be transmitting your exact location. Other countries have tried to do it. Russia, China, North Korea come to mind. This is also something that was highly debated in America. Your location, your specific location is part of your privacy. No country can ask you to give your location out just because they're asking. This was done as a way to push for an authoritarian state. All of this is being done for an authoritarian state, to control the narrative, to control the people, to police language, to police opinions. This is why this is being done. Hold on, I need to clip that. How do I clip that? No, hold on, I need to clip that. No, wait. Yeah, sure, that should clip that. There have been a lot of discussions and outcry in India recently over the central government's directive asking smartphone makers to preload its cyber safety app Sanchar Sathi on all devices. After which this was on, like the tracking will always be on. Thought that it does, and just as we thought that dust settled, since the government withdrew the mandate, we are now seeing new reports that could spark yet another debate in the country while raising security and privacy concerns. According to Reuters, the Indian government is reviewing a proposal by telecom industry to require smartphone companies to keep satellite location tracking enabled at all times for better tracking. Hence, Cellular Operator Association of India, COAI, representing Reliance Jio and Bharti Airtel, proposed that the government order smartphone makers to activate AGPS, which uses satellite signals and cellular data. This will require satellite tracking to remain active on smartphones at all time, with no option to the users to disable it. This is inherently an issue. Apple, Samsung, Google opposed this proposal and told the government that always-on satellites tracking should not be mandated. With the lobbying group India Cellular and Electronic Association, ICEA, representing Apple and Google, saying a measure to track device-level location has no precedent anywhere else in the world, except for authoritarian governments, in a confidential letter to the Indian government in July. ICEA also argued that in its letter, there are significant legal, privacy and national security concerns with the telecom group proposal, and a mandate for always-on AGPS for precise location tracking would be regulatory overreach. That said, the telecom group not only proposed AGPS activation, but also has problems with older location tracking methods, as smartphone companies display a pop-up message to alert users when the network carrier is trying to access their location. So they don't want this either. Like, you should not, like, they don't even want you to know that you're being tracked. A telecom group argued that a target can easily ascertain that he is being tracked by security agencies, and urged the government to order smartphone manufacturers to disable this pop-up feature. Like, come the fuck on. On that matter, ICEA argued that it's in its letter to the Indian government that privacy concerns should be taken should take a priority, and India should not consider disabling the pop-up. This happened on the 6th. And you know what happened recently? No, this is RTI. We'll come to RTI later. It is not really relevant in this conversation, to be honest. Exclusive. India proposes forcing smartphone makers to give source code in security over fucking hall. This is January 11, 2026. New Delhi, Jan 11, routers. India proposes required smartphone makers to share source code with the government and make several software changes as part of the raft of security measures. Prompting behind the scenes opposition from giants like Apple and Samsung. This will make the government completely in control of whatever you do. Like literally, they can add an update that quite literally says that your internet should always be on, your location should always be on, you should always send like screenshots every 5 minutes or every 5 seconds to the government. They can just add an update directly if they have a source code and the government has control over what everyone is doing. India proposes smartphone makers source code with government makes several changes as part of the raft of security measures, prompting behind the scenes opposition to the tech companies have countered packages. Sorry, I keep thinking I need to clip that. Tech companies have countered that package of 83 security standards, which would also include a requirement to alert the government to major software updates, lacks any global precedent, risks revealing proprietary details according to the 4 people familiar with the discussion, and a router review of confidential government and industry documents. The plan is part of Prime Minister Modi's efforts to boost security of user data. Fuck all. We saw multiple times before that the government had literally nothing here. Like they have been trying to get into users' data since the fucking beginning. Efforts to boost security of the user data as online fraud and data breach increases the world's second largest smartphone market with nearly 750 million phones. IT Secretary S. Krishnan told Reuters any legitimate concerns of the industry will be addressed with an open mind. Please. Like this is what, the 4th or 5th time they're trying to do this? Adding it was premature to read more into it. Oh, please. Oh, big whoop. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That is the kind of a thing. Like, obviously, people are going to be fucking premature over this. We have had multiple instances. The DPDP Act, the RTI Act, which we had covered before in the earlier live, the broadcasting bill, literally them telling everyone, every phone manufacturer to have updates that keep the AGPS on 24/7. A ministry spokesman said it could not comment further due to ongoing consultation with tech companies like Reliance. So it's like they don't care. Ongoing, Apple gonna refuse again. Anyone who understands Apple knows company has never made its source codes public and it's extremely unlikely to ever do so. The government hellbent of embarrassing itself on the... Yes. See, the thing is, this is not just for Apple. For any company that bends, they're gonna do this. Like, with the Sanchar Sati is in pre-installed in phones right now. If you buy a Jio phone, if you buy any other phone other than Apple or Samsung, it is coming pre-installed. And you can't delete it either. That is the thing. They are going to put this out and make a small exception for whatever, and they're going to introduce this. So what is going to happen is, they're not going to remove this law. So they are going to go like 7 steps forward and come back 2 steps because their initial plan was always to go 5 steps. That is the thing. That is what they are going to do again. So like everything other than Apple is going to have Sanchar Sati. Everything other than Apple and Samsung is going to have like location tracking on 24/7. Everything like you won't even get a notification that your location is on. You won't even able to toggle it on and off. Like if you buy a Reliance phone right now, this is quite literally the case that's going to happen. Last month, it revoked an order to mandate a state-run cyber safety app amid concerns over surveillance, but government brushed aside lobbying last year and required rigorous testing for security cameras over fears of Chinese spying. Cool. So terrorists can just use Apple now? Yeah. Lol. Like terrorists like you and me? Sure. We are not terrorists. Just making it clear for anyone who wants to clip it. That was a joke. Xiaomi and Samsung, whose phones use Google Android operating system, hold 19 to 15% of the market. India's market share is 5%. So like everyone else, like whoever is like, the rest 80% is going to have this. That is the problem. Counterpoint Research estimates among the most sensitive requirements in the new Indian telecom security assurance requirements is access to source code, the underlying programming instruction that makes phones work. This would be analyzed and possibly tested at designed Indian labs. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. They're going to fuck it up again. In industry raised concerns that globally security requirements have not been mandated by any country. Obviously, India is doing on its own. It is paving its path through fascism and authoritarian regime on its fucking own. Because like in internet age, this is something like, whatever. Companies say source code review and analysis is not possible. Obviously, I'm not going to read all of this. So the main point is here that they are trying to steal your data. They're trying to look into whatever you're typing, you're writing. They're trying to control you in the sense of like they're trying to shape your perspective. They're trying to make sure that you only think what they want you to think. You will only get AdWords that they want to show you. You'll only get information that they want to show you. They want to control what YouTube videos you watch or what YouTube videos are allowed. They're going to tell you what to write, what to think. If you write something against the government, you might be jailed because they're going to have the copy. They're going to have your location. They can just grab you and disappear you. And this is a huge problem. That's why they're trying to do this. Don't get me wrong. This is a humongous problem. And we all need to talk about this. We all need to go out and like just tell them like, hey, no, this is not okay. If these things pass, your privacy is gone. It's gone. There is no hiding from anyone. The government will always be in your bedroom. You record a video, the government will probably have it. You take a picture, government will have it. You laugh at a joke, the government will have a recording of it. That is the problem. That is the problem we are discussing here. And that's what we need to talk against. Thank you so much. This was nice. We started a bit late, but we need to be ending around this